Hey, I'm Melita from Move Mountains Physio. Now today's tip is super quick but super important. We need to stop squeezing the glutes. Squeezing the glutes or squeezing the bum is a really common cue you'll hear in the gym, the idea being that it helps to turn on the glutes. The thing is the body doesn't actually work this way and our glutes aren't the only muscles back here. Instead, what we tend to find when people try and squeeze the glutes is that they turn on the deeper layer, the 6 smaller muscles, which are definitely not designed for heavy lifting. The other thing that happens when you squeeze the glutes is it tends to tilt the pelvis back, tuck the tailbone under, or push the hip forward in the hip socket, which means you're actually at a higher risk of creating back injuries or hip and pelvis pain. If you don't believe me, you can try this one for yourself. If you put your hand on your pelvis, then try and squeeze your glutes. If you feel the top of your pelvis roll backwards, your lower back flatten, or the tailbone tuck under, that's you going into posterior pelvic tilt, which increases the risk of back injury. If you put your hand on the front of your hips here, just below your hip crease, and you squeeze the glutes, you'll feel that those hips actually kind of push forward into your hands. That's actually the hip joint moving forward in the socket. Again, going to lead to pain and problems. So if squeezing the glutes is something that you like to do when you're training, you've got a couple of options. Ideally, I much prefer people to try and stick the tailbone out, as that creates that neutral spine. Completely the opposite movement to what you'll be used to if you have been squeezing the glutes. So it's going to feel pretty different, but much safer. If you squeeze your glutes when you squat, we are going to go through squat technique in a couple of weeks' time, but to keep it simple, just think about pushing through your feet and think about it through the whole foot, from the toes all the way to the heels. So there you have it. Stop squeezing the glutes, please.